Good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Sabina. I am one of the co-founders of Tando. I know you've been hearing about Tando a lot. So Tando is the app that allows you to spend your Bitcoin anywhere in Kenya. M-Pesa works. M-Pesa is our mobile money network. And so last year, and some of you have used Tando. By a show of hands, can I see if you've used Tando before? Great. So yeah, you can attest that it actually works. It gets the job done. And last year, when I was standing on this stage, Tando was still very early. We were just 2 months in, and so we were still learning, iterating based on customer feedback, testing ideas, and trying to understand what it actually means to build Bitcoin tools that people use every day. And since then, we've seen a lot of people use Tando to spend Bitcoin in big amounts, small amounts, on everyday things, like actual people using Bitcoin as money and not just a speculative asset. And so from this journey of building Tando, I've learned a few things here and there, and today that's what I want to share with all of you. So next slide. Okay, the title of my talk is Making Bitcoin Disappear into Everyday Life. And how do you do that? So the first lesson that I learned so quickly is that people want to try Bitcoin before they use it. And what do I mean by this? So imagine walking into a supermarket like a Pick and Pay here in South Africa. In Kenya, we have Carrefours. And there's this brand promoter, pretty brand promoter. She's standing there in her little stand promoting their new orange juice, and they call you over. They're like, hey, come and try, this new brand that we have. At first, you're hesitant because you're like, I already have an orange juice that works for me, or maybe you blend your own oranges at home, so you don't need it. And it's something new. You don't know if you're gonna like the taste, and so on and so forth. But you decide, let me just try it, because it's a small sip, it's free, and you just want to be a nice human to your fellow human. So you decide to return that gesture. And so you take the sip, and my goodness, it's actually really good. It tastes great, and you start asking her these questions like, what is it made of, and how much is a bottle? And before you know it, you're adding it to your weekly shopping list. And so that tiny sip you took at first, it turns into curiosity, and finally it turns into a full buy-in. And I feel this is how most everyday people approach something new and unfamiliar like Bitcoin right now. Because let's face it, and I think we all agree on this, at first, when you introduce people to Bitcoin, they don't need to understand the inner workings of it, like the mining, the soft forks and hard forks and all that. They don't need to know all that. But what they want is a tiny taste, a tiny fast sip for them to see Bitcoin in action, like a low-stakes way to see Bitcoin in action for them. And that is what we call proof of spend at Tando. So they want to know, like, does the value transfer? Does it send quickly, and does it feel normal, And this shows up clearly in how, sorry. This shows up clearly in how people use these everyday tools like Tando. And yeah, I'm going to use Tando as an example a lot. So this is our tiny sip at Tando. This is how the receipt page looks like if you've used Tando. So the tiny sip is 15 shillings, which is equivalent of 129 satoshis. And this is a low-stakes way for a normal person to try Bitcoin and see it work for themselves. So they take this first sip. Okay, this thing is confusing me. And then after taking the first sip, it worked, because Tando works, it works, and the value sent instantly, it worked, and it felt, normal. So after that first sip, that's when the curiosity draws in, and now they can increase their spending, so they spend like 86,200 satoshis, which is equivalent of 10,000 shillings, on like a shopping, a whole shopping in the supermarket, like their weekend shopping. So that 15 shillings can actually buy you one tomato in Kenya. So from buying one tomato to now shopping like a whole grocery cart. And then this curiosity now builds up into a full buy-in, like it converts into a full buy-in. So at this point, confidence has grown a lot, and Tando has become part of their everyday life, or Bitcoin has become part of their everyday life. So they're not scared to use or spend a lot of Bitcoin on, bills like rent. So they just start making larger payments in Bitcoin because now they're more comfortable and the confidence has grown in. And so that fast, small sip, it changes everything because it turns, what's this thing into, hey, that actually worked. Let me try it again and again. So the curiosity builds and confidence grows, and slowly that thing that they deemed, new, like Bitcoin, it start becoming like a part of their everyday life. And so the lesson that I learned here is, people don't start by using Bitcoin, they start by trying it. And as a builder, it's your job to make that fast sip very effortless and risk-free, because if your product forces people into making bigger decisions very early on, then most likely you'll shut them out before they even start. So that is the first lesson. Let's move on to the second one. Localization beyond language. So what does this mean? Localization in Bitcoin is more than just translation. It's making Bitcoin feel like an extension of already existing tools and infrastructures that people use every day and they've trusted over the years. And there are 3 ways you can localize your Bitcoin products. Number 1 is integrating with existing systems. And again, I'm going to use Tando as an example. So we integrated with the M-Pesa network. M-Pesa is our version of mobile money, and it's a core financial infrastructure for a lot of us in Kenya. This is how we send money, receive money, bank. Like mobile money is the thing. Cash and credit cards and debit cards, we don't use that a lot. And so we connected Bitcoin to flows and patterns that people have used over the years. And this eliminated a lot of friction and fear, and it made people feel comfortable, like to join, because they like using the word join this Bitcoin thing. And we can see this approach playing out, in other places in Africa, like here in South Africa, we have Money Badger, which integrates with existing tools like Scan to Pay and Zappa, making Bitcoin spendable for a lot of South Africans without it feeling like this abstract thing. We also have MavaPay and TapNob in Nigeria. So what they've done in Nigeria, like bank transfers are the thing. So for them, they connected the Bitcoin rails to banking infrastructure, making it easy for Nigerians to spend, their Bitcoin. And so these tools are very important. And they're actually doing it right by integrating with systems that people have used over the years. And so Bitcoin doesn't feel very new anymore. And there's an important lesson here. Bitcoin adoption doesn't start by replacing everything people use. It starts by meeting people where they are. And sometimes this means integrating with systems that are not perfect, systems that are centralized, the ones we criticize in our small Bitcoin circles. But at this stage of adoption, I do believe that the goal is not ideological purity. The goal is to get people started on Bitcoin, help them build habits and create momentum. We just want Bitcoin to work. All right, because the reality on the ground is majority of the world is still existing in fiat terms, right? If you go to a Pick and Pay right now, everything is priced in rands. Even when you go to, except for the car rental that does Bitcoin only, but these other car rentals, you pay in rands. Rent is in rands, transport, food, everything is priced in fiat. So we're still existing in fiat terms. And so if you want Bitcoin to enter people's lives, let's not let's build bridges for them. Instead of asking them to build new routines, let's integrate Bitcoin into the already existing routines that they have. So yeah, build bridges and not walls. And the important lesson here is people trust what feels familiar. That's just basic human psychology. Fear makes a lot of people, change makes a lot of people very nervous, especially when you're dealing with money. Nobody wants to change how money already works for them. Like, it's very hard. And so at this stage of Bitcoin adoption, Bitcoin doesn't need to feel completely new to work. It just needs to work. That's it. Very basic. So the second way you can localize your Bitcoin product is by reflecting local realities. And this means understanding how the everyday person deals with their money. So for most everyday people, at least where I come from, savings are very small and irregular, and sometimes people don't have money to save, like after inflation and whatever is happening in the world right now, like there's no money left. Spending is the same. It's tied to like daily needs. Like you'll find like a family needs 3 tomatoes today, 1 onion, and 1 cup of rice for dinner. Like that's all they need. So that's all they need to buy. And so when Bitcoin is presented through a product, it needs to be shown in lived terms. Like, how does it fit into everyday life? How does it feel, or how does it work when income is irregular? And how does it feel to save, spend, or buy Bitcoin when money is tight? Because, if your product doesn't, if people cannot see their own realities, their own lives reflected in a Bitcoin product, then they will not stay. So as a builder, this comes first before you even write that code. Like, go on the ground, talk to the people you are building for, get to understand their pain points, and ask them like what they would like to see instead of like building based on assumptions. And the last way you can localize your Bitcoin product is through language localization. I feel like we are all familiar with this, and some of the African builders have been doing such a great job here. So this is just translating Bitcoin materials into African languages, or if you have a Bitcoin app, a wallet, or whatever, make sure that it's available in your local languages as well. Because when an app speaks in your own language, you feel like it was built for you. Like, there's that sense of belonging. And that's why I want to shout out projects like Exonumia. They do such great work translating Bitcoin materials into African languages, making it easy for people to understand Bitcoin without having to translate it in their heads first. Because, yeah, Bitcoin is an inclusion tool, and so we should not forget those people in our local communities as well. And lastly, so this is the last lesson for this session. I didn't expect it to matter that much, but it's actually very crucial. So device reality. And I'm going to start with a very personal story. So this is me 8 years ago. I haven't changed much. And this is my phone then. So it was an Infinix Hot 7. I'll never forget. This one used to do the basics for me. I would take cute mirror selfies, and I could make phone calls. It did that. Worked perfectly. But beyond that, it was hell. So loading apps, downloading apps, mobile data, when I had my mobile data on this phone would overheat. Like, it literally, sometimes I felt like it would blow in my face one day because it would get so hot. So why am I sharing this? This is because this is the reality for a lot of people, again, where I come from in Kenya. Most people have these kind of phones, the low and mid-range Androids, and I have nothing against Androids, by the way. These phones have limited storage, not great memory, so they cannot load heavy apps. And as builders, when we are making Bitcoin tools, it's easy to build with ideal conditions in mind. Like, you assume that people are going to have great phones which have a lot of storage, and they connect to the Wi-Fi very easily, or they have mobile data and all that. But that's not always the situation or the reality on ground. And we've seen this, like we do a lot of campus education tours, and you'll see the phones that they have. They are cracked screens, they load very slowly, they don't have data all the time. So as a builder, it's very important to also have these at the back of your mind, because if you assume everyone has a nice phone that has like great storage and all that, then again you might be shutting them out before they even get to try your app. So those are like the 3 big lessons I've learned today. And yes, the device becomes part of the adoption story. It's not just a by the way. So have that at the back of your mind. So yeah. That is it from me. So if we zoom out from everything I've shared, the main thing that stands out is Bitcoin adoption doesn't have to start with like full belief and conviction, and it doesn't start with full belief for a lot of people. It starts when they feel comfortable, when they feel safe to use these tools that we present to them. And so that is why these tools that we are building, like Tando, Money Badger, MavaPay, they're very important because they meet people where they are by integrating the Bitcoin system, Bitcoin into already existing systems that people are comfortable with, and that is very important. And I do believe that if we keep building, these bridges, and if we keep building for that first small yes, that first small step that gets people to say yes, then we might see, or we will start seeing more people make Bitcoin part of their everyday life. So that's it from me. My name is Sabina. Thank you so much for listening to me, and I'm excited to see what we all build together next. If you have questions, my email, sabina@tando.me, and you can also scan these. It will take you to our website. Thank you.
Thanks, Sabina. Do you want to stay? We've got about maybe a minute or 2 left for questions. Does anyone have questions?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
All right. So this is not a question. It's a demonstration. Apparently, by coincidence, I have to send some money home.
Oh, wow.
And of course, I'm building a Bitcoin circular economy, but whoever I'm sending to, they are not part of the circular economy. So, and yet they have not yet understood Bitcoin. I'd love to try so that you guys can see how easy it works.
Great.
So this is okay. So I have privacy protect. Actually, the person just sent me the M-Pesa number. Like you guys can see. This was okay. It's here. No, I can see. Okay.
Oh,
so the phone number is here. Can you guys see? Okay, the screen.
They can see.
Okay, we are privacy people.
That's what I'm telling you. Use my.
Okay, is this good? I erase this. The screen is camera shy.
Oh.
You can't.
Can you see this?
Yes.
Okay, use this then.
All right. So I have now to write the phone number. So I'm just sending direct to the M-Pesa. All right. So send money. Hopefully this is the correct phone number. Okay. I'm not a big fan though. So the phone number 20. Okay, I want to read it aloud. 26 9 5 7. Okay, I've left a bit of the numbers out, so it's fine. Okay.
How much are you sending?
2K.
Okay.
All right. No, $2,000. Not $2,000. So paying invoice.
Okay.
Okay, so the invoice is being paid. This is how it's done. Yeah.
And then go back to.
And they have received their. Okay. Okay, should show. So this a receipt that's generated should probably be ready by that.
Yeah. So let's see the receipt. The Wi-Fi. Here. Oh, here.
All right. That's it. So they have received their money in M-Pesa from South Africa.
From South Africa to Kenya. So yeah, if you'd like a demo, happy to show you guys. And if you have more questions about Tando, I'll be around, and my co-founder Jason is also around. So yeah, thank
Amazing.
you.
Thank you so much. Give it one round of applause for her.